Whoa. I think I just figured something out, Beavis.
What?
This sucks.
Yeah, it really sucks.
This sucks more than anything that has ever sucked before.
Here on the channel, we often talk about what is it exactly that's killing the industry? Are there secret groups hiding in the background? Is it, social agendas being fused into our comic books and turning people off? Is it that all the great artists are ditching DC Comics? What exactly is it that's really harming comic books or Western comic books these days? Obviously, Persh and I just had a video where we were discussing the wild growth of manga in the Western comic market. Why can't comic books get a hold of something like that and really start driving sales? Today, we're going to talk about a very good example of what exactly is wrong with Western comic books. And you know what it is? It's terrible, and I mean terrible, writing. Now, if you follow the channel, I did my 10 worst comic stories of 2020 not too long ago. If you haven't checked that out, I do suggest you do. One of the stories on there was Jason Aaron's Avengers Age of Khonshu story. I believe it was top 5. If it wasn't top 5, it was definitely top. I know it was top 10. It was a very bad story, and we knew that was leading into this Phoenix story, Enter the Phoenix. And I was like, you know what? I don't need it. I've covered Jason Aaron's garbage writing for long enough. He kind of lost his way somewhere along the line as he was finishing up the story run. When he got on Avengers, it was good for about 10 issues, and then it went to trash. When he got on Conan the Barbarian, it was good for about 5 issues, and then it went to crap. And Avengers obviously is on issue 41, and it has been bad for a very long time. But it is reaching new heights of bad. Places we didn't think Jason Aaron could reach. And I'm telling you, in this comic book, in Avengers 41, in his Enter the Phoenix tournament story that he's telling, and this is the second issue of it, this has the worst comic page I've read in a couple of years. Without a doubt. No question about it. And I've read some stinkers. Oh, Wes, what are your bona fides? Have you really read anything that bad? If you think this is bad, you probably haven't read anything bad. Well, let's see my bona fides. I have read multiple, and I do mean multiple pages of Brian Michael Bendis introductions to Legion of Superheroes, Action Comics. I've had to read so much Bendis speak, it makes me sick. What else have I witnessed the last few years? Oh, the true romance of Glob and Psylocke in the Age of X-Men event at Marvel Comics. My goodness. I still can't believe that happened. What else have I seen? Oh, I saw Batgirl check Bruce's privilege because he was not giving money to the right charities. And you know what Bruce did when she did that? All right, sent, and immediately did what he was told in Batgirl 50. What else have I seen that was terrible? Oh, yes, Tony Stark. The big reveal in Iron Man 2020. Tony Stark's new Iron Man suit was powered by Tony Stark's own imagination. Can you believe that? He's essentially Peter Pan. What an absolute revolting reveal for an event block. Oh yes, who can forget Narc sitting on a woolly mammoth spouting poetry? Yes, this was in a big-time comic event book from DC Comics. I'll let you guess who wrote it. Oh, who can forget Gorgon running out to go bang a rock? And on the same page, we've got Captain Avalon and Death arguing over who's going to murder a kitten during Ten of Swords. And that's just the tip of the iceberg on a lot of the shenanigans going on that book. But I will say this is the worst page in Ten of Swords. Who can forget Batman allowing Joker to murder somebody on their wedding day right in front of him and doing nothing about it? Thanks again, Tom. Oh, and last but not least, this is probably my favorite. The Iron Man suit, someone Yas Queens the villain as she's punching their face off, and then calls herself out for cultural appropriation. So yes, I have seen some real stinkeroonies, and this even talking about some of the big stuff like your Hail Hydra crap and all that stuff. There's been some real stinkers in the comic book industry the last few years. And I say this page from Jason Aaron's Avengers 41 featuring Nighthawk and a Phoenix-powered T'Challa about to fight, talking about politics, takes the cake. It's befuddling. You cannot believe that this got through editorial. Multiple people signed off on this dialogue. This is Nighthawk. Oh, yes, I know. I've already had your elementary schools classified as centers for cyber terrorism. After this latest attack, I expect the White House will officially recognize your entire country for what it is and sanction my squadron to topple your little backwoods socialist evil empire once and for all. And this is T'Challa's response. Ooh, he's got lightning in his voice. Do you know how many lobbyists a literal mountain of vibranium can buy? With House budget hearings imminent, you're about to find out, Congressman. Your squadron will not survive the fiscal quarter. And after that, wonderful, just action-packed, heart-pounding to-do between these two characters, they decide the only way to settle this is to fight to the death as we're powered up by the Phoenix Force. Jason Aaron, stop watching C-SPAN. Stop mainlining MSNBC, CNN, or whatever other crap that you're inundating yourself with to think that this is good comic book dialogue for a Phoenix Force tournament book. And a Phoenix Force tournament just is stupid to begin with. We'll get into that later if I have time. Just think about this. You've got your second-rate Batman knockoff from Marvel Comics speaking to the King of Wakanda. They're both powered up by the Phoenix Force to see which one is greater, and they decide to have a budget meeting. A freaking budget meeting. Who's going to survive the fiscal quarter? This is who Jason Aaron is now. This is what Marvel Comics are. This is why comics are at an all-time low. This is why people are running from the hobby to go and look at manga. This is why grown men are reading YA graphic novels intended for 10-year-old girls because it's more entertaining than this. Congratulations, Jason Aaron. I didn't think it was possible for you to outdo yourself in Age of Khonshu, but you have done it here in Avengers Enter the Phoenix. A freaking budget meeting between two so-called superheroes powered up by the Phoenix Force. Can you believe this? I want somebody in the comments to go in the comments and defend this dialogue. Defend this page to me, because this is the single stupidest comic book page I've seen in 5 years. I defy anyone to find one that's in a legitimate big-name comic. This is not Moon Girl or Devil Dinosaur. This is not some crap book on Image Comic that's going to have 12 comic books in circulation. These are the freaking Avengers. This is a $1 billion movie franchise. This is supposed to be a serious action comic featuring the best action heroes that Marvel Comics has to offer. The greatest superheroes in the entire world. And this is what you get. This is Marvel Comics. This is DC Comics. This is the comic industry in a nutshell. It's crap. Why wouldn't a 45-year-old virgin want to go read Smile when he could read this? This is what is killing the industry. And you're like, well, it's just one page, Wes. Oh, it's not just one page. This entire comic book is garbage. This is in the early running for the worst comic book of 2021. We're only 3 weeks in, and I think I've got a front runner. I don't see anyone outdoing this one. What else do we got? Another thing that makes no sense. You're going to have an Enter the Phoenix Force tournament, like a Mortal Kombat style tournament, to see who's going to be the new Phoenix, right? Yeah, let's invite a 9-year-old super genius hero into the fold. Let her fight. That makes a lot of sense. Who cares if she has a dinosaur? Here's Logan. And we ain't supposed to be here. This place is reserved for Phoenix wielders. Any of you got aims on joining them, well, you might as well skip to the part where I start stabbing you a bunch, because he's going to murder you if you want to be a Phoenix Force wielder. Captain America. Save the threats, Logan. None of us asked for this. And the 9-year-old girl. And I'm an actual 4th grader. I own roller skates. A professional editorial team okayed that. This was greenlit by the team CB Cebulski and the Legion of Doofuses put together to make sure that the Avengers series, one of the flagship series should be at Marvel Comics is the best that they can absolutely offer. And I'm an actual fourth grader. I own roller skates is a goddamn piece of dialogue in a comic book already 2021. We all thought 2020 could not be topped. Oh, it'll never get worse than this. Oh, I think we're already seeing it. And it's not just in comics. It feels like everything's already worse. Jason Aaron in his Avengers Into the Phoenix Force has set the bar very low for who could actually top this as the worst comic of 2021. I don't think that it can be done. Tom King and Bendis are going to surprise me. There'll probably be a Cecil Castellucci run in there somewhere that'll just blow my mind. But just think about this. And it's not just this. There's another character powered up by the Phoenix Force. Guess why he doesn't want to be powered up by the Phoenix Force? Guess why he doesn't want to be possessed by the Phoenix and selected as the next Phoenix wielder? This will change me, expand my mind in ways I could have never imagined. I cannot be this open-minded. Who wants to bet that this is some type of a character traditionally categorized as a conservative? I'm not really familiar with the character. Tell me I'm wrong. Maybe I am. Maybe Jason Aaron is just, he's not even being subversive here. He's just being awful. Maybe he's just a terrible writer. I don't want the Phoenix Force because I don't want to be open-minded. Let's get him that Ringo, people. It's time to set him up for some award season. Why did we not have Razzies? Where's the golden raspberry of comic books? Because Jason Aaron, he needs to be on the trophy. Like, you can't write comics this bad. Now, I will give them credit. They're doing something smart. He and the artist, they have an absolutely garbage story. And I'm certain that the artists realize that. So what they've done is they've taken about, 45 characters and put them in all what their Phoenix Force uniforms would be. Keep your mind off of what you're reading because you're seeing all these characters. Oh, now I see Captain America as a Phoenix Force. Now I see Howard the Duck as a Phoenix Force. Now I see the dinosaur from Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur as a Phoenix Force user. Now I can see Black Panther and Luke Cage and all these characters and American Eagle and Shayna the She-Devil and the Red Widow. I will give this. The best part of this entire comic book, obviously, is Howard the Duck wielding the Phoenix Force. But why can everybody in the world wield the Phoenix Force? Wasn't it supposed to be like important? Didn't the Phoenix Force used to pick people for a reason because they're very powerful? You define down the Phoenix Force, you define down Captain America, you define down Black Panther, you define down Wolverine, Luke Cage, and every other character that you want to present as meaningful and important in the future when you do this. When you just put them with every Tom, Dick, and Harry superhero that no one gives a crap about. Why is there a Phoenix Force tournament with Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur and it's the same as Captain America? They're not exactly playing on the same level here. Does that raise up the profile and the status of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur? Or does it bring down the profile and status of Captain America and T'Challa and all these other heroes? Which one of them's going to beat the 9-year-old up? Is it just going to be Namor? This might fool some people, but you're not fooling me. This is garbage. I don't care how many characters that you put in your Phoenix Force powers on and give them a new uniform. Who cares? This story sucks. And it has one of the worst, and I do mean worst, overarching narratives. It's meandering. It goes on for days. And when I say days, well, obviously not days, but 24 pages. It starts in the first page. And this narrative continues until the last page. I felt like I was reading a goddamn Ultimate Warrior promo from the 80s in WWF. And then the Phoenix Force took me, and it took my family, and the rage pumped in my veins, but I had to rise to survive. Now with the power of the Phoenix Force, I'm coming for you, Hulk Hogan. It is the most incomprehensible, bullcrap, stupid narrative I've ever read in my life. It meanders and goes on for days, much like this review here, but I don't care. If Jason Aaron gets to meander for days with this really stupid narrative, I'm going to meander for days with this really important message that this is what's ruining comic books. It goes on and on forever, and it never stops. I bet it goes on in the next comic book. I'm pretty sure I saw it in issue 40 as well. It's going to go on for 200 pages. Now, we can't just blame Jason Aaron, obviously. He is not the only one to take credit for this. But there are other people that need to be taking some blame for this. C.B. Cebulski, you failed. Tom Brevoort, you absolutely failed Jason Aaron, you failed the Avengers, and you failed any Marvel Comics reader that paid money for Marvel or for Avengers 41. Alana Smith, associate editor, you absolutely failed at your job, letting this crap get through. Just the entire comic book is awful, but it also contains the worst page of comics in the last 5 years. And assistant editor Martin Biro, I don't blame you as much. You're supposed to be leaning on these people with more experience. Are supposed to have your back. Make sure you don't make a fool of yourself. Well, I'm sorry. I guess you should have looked out for number one. You look like an absolute dipshit because your name is associated with this comic book. You all failed. Jason Aaron failed. C.B. Cebulski failed. Tom Brevoort failed. Alana Smith failed. Martin Biro failed. Javier Garron did the best that he could. He realized he was working with the stinker, and he tried to make the comic visually stimulating. But you can't take your eye off the words on the page. You want to know what's killing comic books? It's terrible writing. You want a good example? Go out there, I dare you. Go spend your money. Go read the first 2 chapters in The Phoenix. You'll vomit. You'll never read comic books again. And you'll be a lifelong manga reader. I feel bad for anybody that discovered comic books and their first comic they discovered was Avengers 41. They'll never read a comic book again. There are not enough The Dark Knight Returns, Watchmen, Death of Gwen Stacy, Civil War, Korvac sagas. There are not enough great stories in the world to overcome crap like this. This should not be published. Marvel Comics should be professional enough to know when they have a stinker of the script and send it back and say, sorry, Jason Aaron, this isn't worthy. Not in the House of Ideas, but that's not the era that we're in. It doesn't matter. Does it meet the deadline? Well, I guess it's good enough. We saw that on Marvel 616 for Iron Man 2020. This is what's killing comics. It's not secret groups. It's not a weird agenda. It's mismanagement. It's incompetence. And it's comics like Avengers 41. This is the worst.
If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. I would appreciate it very much. It helps us attract more views for the channel. Subscribe for future commentary, comic book news, and reviews. And don't forget to ring the bell for notifications. If you want to talk comics, movies, and much, much more, you can follow me on Twitter at Wes_from_TC. With that, Salamat Po, and I'm out.